Hey guys, what's up? Here with Tommy. We're gonna
Hey,
do English, I guess.
what's up,
So,
gamers?
Hey,
Looks like we're about to start the last SC2 vlog of this marathon, which is Dark Story. Have another great co-commentator now. It's Amber.
hi, I'm Ember Cyprin, and I
And
actually love this category, so I'm excited to be here.
this
Hope
category is
everyone's
great.
snug and ready to roll.
All right, so what will you choose? English, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
Chat knows what it wants. It wants English voices.
No anime today.
No anime. Well, I will have
Oh, it looks like.
anime battle at
Wait a
least.
minute. Wait a minute. We did have a donation.
Oh, cool.
Said it's $20 from Vexus, saying good work, guys. I love the entirety of the Sonic series dearly. Have fun. Well, thank you for your donation to help put below. Other than that, you can count down whenever you're ready.
All right, I guess we can start. You ready?
I'm ready.
Alright. So starting at macaroni, I guess. 3, 2, 1, macaroni. Alright. So most of you probably saw Hero Story Race, which we had before, and we have a Dark Story option as well. And since main character of Hero Story was Sonic, we mostly had Sonic levels. But since main character for Dark Story Eggman, Eggman. Well, most of the level is gonna be obviously for Eggman, and it's kind of difficult because, as I tried to explain before, mech movement is a lot more difficult than it looks, and well, we have to do a lot of jumps on corners, and we'll try to keep the momentum when we need to destroy the doors and keep going through them without stopping, because if we will stop, we will lose too much speed.
Yeah, it is actually quite difficult to maintain mech movement and momentum just because of how jagged its movement tends to feel. It's very stiff and clunky in comparison to both the Hedgehogs and Knuckles and Rouge. So you'll see a bunch of different slight movement mechanics going on with the mechs. What you were seeing Tommy do on the elevator there a bit ago was he was moving back and forth doing a hard 180, and that actually puts him at full running speed once he actually does the full turn. And that's one way when you go from a stop, from a full stop to be able to go straight while waiting for like a door to open or that platform to extend. You'll see a bit of that here.
Alright, I'm doing very specific movements here because I'm trying to manipulate checkpoint bonus. I want to have at least 80 rings, and if I do this and run into checkpoint that retains the time, then I got speed shoes right at the time when the elevator gonna be on the bottom of this area, and if everything will go really well, I probably can get sub 2 maybe? Sub 2 and gate would be hype. This looks promising. Ow! So close. Alright, that's fine. We're losing 12 seconds to sub 2. Alright. We have first boss, which is as easy as Bigfoot, except it's easier because you don't even need to jump on the box for first 3 hits. You just want to hit him normally, and you want to delay very last hit because it will give you faster animations for some reason at the end of the battle. So
Yes, if you hit the final hit at the wrong time, he tends to just keep floating upwards, which wastes like, what, like 3 seconds or so, and
Oh.
he must go. His people need him.
It depends, it can cost you like only 1 second or even more. Alright, we got spinning glitch. I hope I actually got it in the end. It's I found it accidentally, not that long time ago, and it's always funny. Alright, Dry Lagoon, please be kind. This is probably the most brutal RNG stage in Dark Story. We usually reset on this stage a lot.
Yeah, one of the early choke points for anyone running Dark Story is often Dry Lagoon RNG because it can be so varied. There's a lot of free pieces all over the place, and even the difference between getting a free piece in either Oasis versus not getting a free piece at all and just getting a bad layout is anywhere from like what a 20 something second dry lagoon to like over a minute.
Yeah, it can easily be over a minute with really unlucky layout. This layout is not particularly good, but it could be a lot worse. This is an issue I also mentioned before during Knuckles Centurion. The reason why do we hate dry lagoon so much because there is so many second pieces on top of small area, and if you got it, your time increased by like 20 seconds automatically.
Yeah, because there's so many of them, and there's no fast way up to the top of the small oasis. It's just climbing.
Yeah. Fortunately, I found free piece before, and well, it kinda like make my life easier, and it's probably gonna be the most stressful stage. Do you mind to explain why first cycle is really cool?
Oh, absolutely. So Sand Ocean is another reset heavy point in Dark Story, and it's only the third stage. And first cycle here, Sand Ocean is much like the other mech stages in Hero Story, are very platform heavy cycle stages. And he resets at the very beginning because during that little cutscene where Eggman's talking, the cycles are actually moving on their own. And these platform cycles are incredibly tight. Some of the frames, including the frame windows to make some of these jumps, are very tight. Like that very first jump in the stage is a 3-frame window. And what he's trying to do is he wants to move through the stage as quickly as possible.
That's not good.
To be able to make the correct cycle so that he can go very smoothly throughout the stage.
I was barely behind to actually catch it, so I'm gonna lose like approximately 12 seconds or something to first cycle. Well, it's better than dying. I remember on my last marathon, Dark Story, I died here like twice or thrice, so I lost like over a minute, and it was not fun. So hopefully I will just try to finish this stage safe way. It's fine.
Yeah, in an actual run, especially a no reset run like a marathon, deaths are usually the worst thing you can have happen to you. Oh, and you did get the Chow Box jump, which is actually a lot more difficult than it looks.
Yeah, because camera is changing really aggressively, and there is only one difficult jump left. Alright, we good. Deathless and Ocean is what I really wanted to get. Hey, I got the last jump.
Nice. That is isn't that a frame perfect jump?
It has like 4 frames, but you need to jump at 2 certain frames, which will give you enough distance to land on this top platform, and if you will get jumped but into wrong frames, it will does nothing, you will just land to the lowest floor, and it's actually a lot slower by at least like 5 seconds. So, I'll take that.
Yeah, aside from that one small hiccup, that was a very solid no reset Sand Ocean. Absolutely.
Yeah, I missed first cycle because when I lock on the dynamite packs before it, I kinda lost way too much speed because camera changed, and well, it just sometimes happened. So I decided just to go safe instead. Finally, we can play as Shadow for the first stage, which is also one of the most difficult stages.
I mean, it's certainly no Final Chase, but Radical Highway is actually very difficult to, it also has its own small, like, almost negligent platform cycle. But there's a number of loop skips you can do here. Oh, nice.
That's a lot harder than it looks because, again, you have 60 hover frames when you do a jump, and if you waste a lot of hover frames before you hit him, you're just not gonna get enough height to make it, and you're pretty much losing a cycle because of it, but it went really well. And yeah, as I mentioned before, it's probably the second hardest technical stage in this run.
Okay, perfect. You did make that platform cycle.
I really want to land on this rail. Alright. If you miss this rail, it's basically 10 seconds time loss, and I would not recommend to get this.
Yeah, that jump down to that spring off of the the hill is actually quite scary, especially to newer runners for Dark. There's a safer way to approach it, but once you actually
Oh my god.
figure out where you're supposed to jump, oh no.
Radical Highway is going so well, not gonna lie. This loop skip is also very scary because there is certain area where there is like a wind. Hello? Alright, we good. Except I have no idea where I'm going. Alright, it was scary. There is certain area where wind gonna just let you float in the air with no reason, and you pretty much want to dodge this when you do this loop skip, and at the same time you need to get on those distance to hit the spring. So I'll take that.
Yeah. There are definitely certain loops, and I think it's most of the loops in Radical Highway that just do not want you to die. It doesn't want you to jump off, it wants you to take the loop, so it's like, oh, we're gonna put wind on one odd side of it. It's like, enjoy not being able to skip this normally.
This wind is very weird. I don't understand like any reason to be there. And as you can see, we're on the level which looks very similar with Death Chamber, and I can tell you even more. Death Rats is a thing for this level too. So let's see how it will go. I will have to go for upgrade first, and first piece is quite lucky for this because it's right in the upgrade room, where I need to go anyway there. So this upgrade is gonna let me to get diggable piece, and since game forces you to get this upgrade, third piece is gonna be confirmed diggable one. Alright, second piece, a dark room. That's actually, yeah, this piece can be in two places. It can be between red and blue and green as well, with the same hint. So I didn't guess the right one, but that's okay. I really want to be last piece in blue room. I know it's possible. Dark Sonic. Wait, is it actually? Oh my god! It's actually first piece in upgrade room followed by third piece in blue room. What is actually really close to each other.
Wow. That's actually fairly impressive. One thing that a lot of people don't realize with Rouge stages, or maybe they do realize it and it's why they don't like running Rouge, is that many of her stages have very ambiguous hints, starting with egg quarters. Like Dark Sonic can be in two different locations. Security Hall is the most notorious, and we'll see that a little later. But there's definitely a lot of ambiguous hints that makes Rouge a bit of a different story than Knuckles.
Alright, there is another technical stage for Eggman because it's like second slowest stage, and it actually has the longest time to actually play on it. We'll come back to Cosmic Ball explanation later, but for this specific stage you need to do a lot. Like, you're gonna get the upgrade which will let you hover, and until then there's like a lot of doors and switches which you need to get as fast as possible without bonking, ideally. 30 seconds checkpoint, alright, that doesn't sound bad. Looks like I'm gonna get upgrade at maybe 37? Alright, 38. That works. Also, I totally forgot about the fact that I kinda changed a couple of stage music files for some reason. So we currently now actually listening to Lost Colony. It's actually Hot Shelter from Sadix. Because I found this music kind of funny, I guess.
A lot of your music choices are actually quite funny. I don't know if I doubt they used your audio for Hero Story, but your Hero Story replacement for King Boom Boo and Egg Golem is quite funny.
Oh yeah, but Papyrus theme. They don't have
Yes.
Papyrus in Dark Story too, and Dark Egg Golem.
Yeah. But this game, I'm sure hover jumps were explained earlier in Hero Story, but just to touch it real quick, in Dark Story, you'll see a lot of pausing right before he does a particularly long hover jump. And for anyone who isn't familiar with the mechanics in this game, you get a abnormal amount of height that the developers seem to not intend for you to get if you place your A input after your initial jump as close to that initial jump as possible. So that gets you more height and distance and lets you do a lot of skipping. You'll see in the next Eggman stage, which is Weapons Bed, and he does it a couple of times here in Lost Colony as well. And you'll see pause buffering just allows him to get those inputs as close together as possible.
Yeah, Weapons Bed is kind of scary stage. It's very short, but it's even more technical than this one because I'm gonna press pause button a lot. Alright. At least I got sub 220. That's quite good time, I would say. It can be like time variance for like most runners can be between 215 and like 240 if you don't really practice it a lot. So I'm kind of really happy about the beginning of this run. Religun was mean, but it's usually always mean. So let's see. Also there's a thing. I'm gonna go for really risky jump at the beginning from the pillar. Gonna see it in approximately 10 seconds from now. Oh, that was bad first pause buffer. That's fine. All right. I can go safe from this pillar, but I want to save 1 second. And hopefully I got a good height from it, and I'm gonna land not to the beginning of this platform, but actually on the middle of it. Yeah, we got it.
Nice.
Also, there's another case when I'm gonna try to manage to get certain amount of rings on this stage, and I want to get speed shoes at the last checkpoint, because it actually saves quite a lot of time here. For some reason, Eggman start to run on these flat platforms on Weapons Bed way too fast, like a lot faster than he usually does.
Yeah, he actually seems to hit his max running speed on the platform carrier, or on the air carriers. Specifically those platforms. If you run off of the raised platform, he goes back to normal running speed. But it's very similar to his speed shoe speed. Combine that with actual speed shoes, and it would be incredibly absurdly fast. And that was a very large amount of words for very, very high speed.
Alright, there is another strat about this satellite. It has invisible hitbox above it for some reason, and you can use it and jump to get enough height and skip all the platforms at the end.
He's
Yeah,
not
for some reason
not
the
moving the
developers thought that was
camera.
a good idea.
He's not moving the camera to like look cool or anything. You just legit can't move the camera. You're
Don't
there
worry
most
about
of the time.
camera, it's not working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cameras. We don't need cameras in this game.
I hate the camera in this game. People say Sadix has a bad camera, but this game is much worse in my
Well,
opinion.
there is a difference. In Sadix you have an option to change the camera from
I know.
automatic to
That's
free
why it's
mode.
better.
For SA2 we also have two types of camera, but you can't really choose it from menu. You usually have after cam, but if you die once on the level you have free cam, and it's very dumb. That's basically why I lost 30 seconds in Hero Story race yesterday. Because I wasn't able to get second door skip with free cam. Alright. This is probably the most important RNG stage. You have 3 types of saves with different colors, and you can have opened only one color save, so let's see how kind of RNG is gonna be. On a big box. Alright, first piece is never inside locked safe, so it's kinda average first piece. In fact, it's actually one of the worst because it's kinda far from like everything. Second piece, the letter L, and this is the piece I want to see less than
The
any
least
other.
of.
Yeah, it can be in 4 saves. 3 of them are red and another one is blue, so I prefer to go for second hint. And well, RNG's been
That's
really
going
mean.
back to mentioning the very ambiguous hints that are notorious in Rouge stages.
There is a problem. Last piece is not gonna be in red. Oh, okay, it's not in the save. Because there are 8 different second pieces in red saves and only 1 in third one, and it was pretty close to where my second piece was. So I got unsafe piece, but it was on very top, and I'm quite not happy with 56 TBH. And yeah, this stage is probably the most difficult to learn than any other treasure hunting stage in this game, because again, as you probably noticed, letter L has 4 different locations. I can tell you even more. It can be as first piece and as third piece too, and even more. 2 colored containers first piece can be in up to 7 places, so well.
2 colored containers. It's always asking the question, what do you feel like being today?
Alright, this is probably the most technical boss in the game. I'm gonna try to use new strat, which I'm Not really consistent, and yeah, I missed second hit. With this strat, you can get as low as 31 seconds fight. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, so we'll try to. Alright, he gonna stay in the right corner, so I can finish him with last 3 hits really quickly. I will hit him from the right angle. Alright, he should stay here. And here's go, last hit. Yeah. I missed landing on the box after first hit, and it simply cost me 12 seconds, but otherwise fight was good. Alright. Green Forest of Dark Story.
I was about to say, are you sure you're not running Hero Story right now?
I'm not sure which stage is worse, I can tell you that. This
I
stage
mean, they
tries to
both
kill you
suffer
so
from-
badly.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they both suffer from really bad vertexes because the main roads are all half
My
pipes
heart.
and they're not coated well.
That was a bit monkey-esque.
I'm not sure why I'm still alive, but I'll take that.
Oh my god.
No! This is so stressful, guys. It's not going
Okay.
well. Why am I still alive? Oh my god.
We've had a number of close calls.
Alright. We can accidentally do a loop skip at this certain point. It's called accident because I don't really know any consistent setup for it, so if Shadow feels like he wanted to go for it, well, I will let him. But apparently it was not the case. So I really want to get storage on this spring, because if I will do it right, I will skip hitting on next spring. Alright, that's good. Because hitting those previous spring would be very slow. You don't want to spin dash here, because it just can simply kill you with no reason. Don't ask why. And it looks like probably deathless white jungle. When I had meme splits before like normal ones, I call this stage with a quote like, "How this stage gonna kill me today?" Alright.
Also, shoutouts to Big the Cat, making an appearance in many of the stages in this run.
Fun fact, this is the only stage where there are 2 big the cats. Like, first one was during animation when you hit the last vine, and there is another one at the very end of the stage. And it makes no sense, but oh well.
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I'm just gonna be quiet for this
I
cutscene.
think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my friend.
Epic. Reminder that this cutscene is 4 times longer than the actual fight, and it's completely unskippable.
I see chats getting their fakers out.
That was really good fight, not gonna lie.
The likes of you.
I can appreciate the fact that like 6 or 7 seconds of the fight itself is just Sonic talking.
Why
Yeah,
is Big in a cage in the floor?
yeah, he's still there. Alright. I would not recommend to die on this specific stage, because there are no checkpoints, which gonna work the same way like another part of the game, and death means reset for it. And well, it's one of the longest stage in the game. It's basically what you could see on Road 101, except it's actually harder and longer. And
Yeah, it's much harder. It's much easier to die in this stage, and is also quite a bit longer than Route 101.
And apparently game let me to represent backward driving this time.
Excellent.
It resets early again, and I'm mad about this because I wasted 2 seconds for it, and it's not a thing anymore. I was even more mad in Hero Story because I tried to get it, and game resets rush scar instantly after it. And I don't feel like it's very fun. So for some reason you can move being backwards here, and you're not actually losing or gaining any speed. You don't even have inverted control. You just move the same way. It just looks funny when it works.
I mean, some people would like to argue that Rouge and Tails drive a lot better when they can't see where they're going. Just use their like rear view mirrors to drive.
Yeah. Alright.
I definitely have had many runs die because at the very end of the stage, like Tommy mentioned, there are no checkpoints. Rouge suddenly decides her car is now a boat, except that boat doesn't work.
Alright, then gonna be one of the most dangerous places here because, not because you're gonna die, but because it's gonna be a very narrow path with limited amount of rings, and I really want to get boost in case I will hit any cars because there are like 3 cars on my way. I'm about to pass second, oh, I barely did it. There's gonna be black car right on my way, and I really hate this black car because it's also going to my ring road, so, well, like hitting the car is the very last thing you want to do. If you hit the wall, you lose like tenths. If you hit the car, you can lose up to 15 seconds if you don't have boost after it, because it decreases your speed a lot.
And you have to exchange insurance information.
Alright. Totally forgot to mention that I changed the music file here too, but oh well.
Well, I think chat has figured that out by now.
Looks like that.
It definitely looks like they figured out you changed the music file.
Yeah. Alright. Time for the shortest stage for Shadow, and I don't really like it because, well, it's barely a stage.
Shadow, they're in that blue plane.
Alright. There's a lot of rails.
I'm in pursuit.
And if I will get good enough movement, I will try to skip like half of this stage in like a couple of seconds, because, well, we need to go into the way. So right after this checkpoint, you can see the mountain in front of me, and I don't feel like I want to go there. Oh my god, this save. My heart gonna stop working soon. Saves like this. And I didn't hit this checkpoint, so it might be really dangerous now, because it's so easy to miss this specific rail. Alright, I missed homing attack, but we're alive.
That sounds about right during Skyrail sometimes. Although
Oh my
I think chat would appreciate if you didn't have your heart stop working on stream.
Alright, I'm actually quite happy with this Kyrail because I'm usually playing badly. And, well, if I will get sub 50, I'm pretty happy about it, but 46 is really good. Alright, time for Papyrus, I guess. This boss is annoying. I'm not sure why it doesn't exist. The only one thing you want to do is keep mashing to right arm of a golem, because if you hit right arm, you give double damage to a golem instead of like normal shit for some reason. Alright, that was kinda quick. And if you fall on descent like this, after a GT timer stop, you can still kinda control Eggman. Not fully control, but, well, you can rotate and shoot. And this is gonna be very last stage. And let's see, can we do a cool thing or not? Okay, we can. So again, kinda tries to force you to get an upgrade on this stage as well, which is on the closest planet, which is Gravity Planet. But if you move this specific way, you can get off this gravity and just completely skip it. And in my case, it's gonna be faster, because my first piece is actually higher. So there is no reason to actually waste time to go for it. Alright, second piece gonna be on capsule. It's gonna be diggable behind this block.
There is a small part of me that does hope that you get like 2-colored container piece 3.
No.
Just so that
Oh.
people can understand how broken the hints are in the stage. There are actually quite a few broken hints in Mad Space in the GameCube version. For example, what is it? Blue light balcony actually means yellow light balcony in every instance.
Oh, there's like a lot of broken stuff about this stage. Even more, there is a piece which has hint blue and yellow, which is piece 2.
Perfect.
And you
like
can
me.
dig it up from 2 different places. For some reason. And, well, we actually got fairly cool RNG, I would say, for Med Space. It's even better than Security Hall.
Long time no see.
Yeah, that was certainly better than Security Hall, and that was actually a very, very decent mad space because you were able to skip the iron boots and everything.
Alright. Knuckles fight. What do you want to do? You want to drill dive once. Then you want to get ring to feel safe. Then we keep drill diving until fight is gonna be over. Simple as that. And cutscene before it is as long as the actual fight too. Alright. Next level is gonna be really unique because it has completely different gravity and physics, and it's really hard to get good at it. As you can see, gravity is kinda low and I can jump really high. That means to move really fast and optimally, you want to start hover when you're gonna be at the peak of the jump, what is opposite of what you normally do on other stages. This stage is, well, again, the longest stage for Eggman in Dark Story, and hopefully I will show the easy and lazy way to beat it fast enough.
Yeah, it is also the longest stage in the game for most casual players because it includes 2 very long auto-scrollers that take at least a minute long each. Or actually, the second one is definitely a minute long. I think it's just a bit under a minute for the first one.
Yeah, and second is like 1 minute and 4 seconds or something like that. Ideally, you don't want to hover at all if you're capable to hit the to land on these platforms. So you just single jump. Since again, it's just it's just faster way.
Yeah, your fall speed is actually very slow in comparison to just landing on the platform immediately.
Let's see if I can do a thing. There we go. So we can clip out a bounce to this corner, going a little bit too aggressive to the right to make camera follow you, and we're gonna chill and move forward for good 2.5 minutes.
So instead of 2 different auto-scrollers broken up with some gameplay, we proceed to have just one very long auto-scroller that is just a lot of hovering. On the bright side, it's a great talking time, and you get to like think about your run, maybe get a drink. You just can't let go to the controller, otherwise, you know, you'll fall to your death and
Well,
die.
yeah, you don't really have opportunity to go for drink, but yeah, you can kind of chill and talk about how good this day is, and well, all right, that's the thing. There is a tower on the top left corner which you can ice if you play on 16:9 resolution. And when you see it, you can change directly to the goal ring direction, because if you will turn earlier, you're gonna hit a kill plane on your way. And I have no idea why this kill plane is there, but it can easily kill you and just take away 2.5 minutes of your life.
I definitely feel like with these space stages, you'll see it also in Final Chase. You probably saw it if you saw the Hero Story run, you probably saw Final Rush and Crazy Gadget. A lot of these space stages, I feel like the developers just kind of took a random paintbrush and just slapped kill planes wherever they felt could have been necessary, or in some cases completely unnecessary. But they left a lot of gaps, so you can just kind of like weave your character in and out of these kill planes to be able to skip a lot of parts of the stages.
So yeah, I can see the tunnel where you're supposed to be at the end of second auto-scroller, and well, you move there fairly fast, intended way, but you need to spend a lot of more time to get there instead of just going directly to it from autobounds. And it looks like I'm gonna get something close to like 4 minutes, I think. It's just a skip I would recommend to learn to everyone who want to pick up Dark Story and who don't really want to care about learning faster strats and learn the entire level, because again it's really complicated and complex in general. So instead of
Tommy, there's someone in chat who's asking, are there any significant skips that are almost possible but not because of kill planes?
oh, well, what
Like
do
a real final chase skip?
well, it's possible, not just almost. It's totally possible to do it in runs, but who want to go through a kill plane to save 6 seconds? Come on. It saves 10 in
Yeah.
Hero in Final Rush, and it was hell when it was the only one option to go for. And now you have two different options to go for, mini skip or to the full skip. And if you go for the full skip, again, you save only 6 seconds, and well, your chances are not very high to go for it. Also, Tails 2. Looks like I got a decent beginning, and hopefully it's gonna be 14. Here we go. I
Tails
really
2
love
is
this
interesting in
stuff.
that his AI is actually less aggressive than Tails 1 for some reason.
I'm more than happy about this fight. Alright. This stage is a nightmare. I choked so many runs before. I died so many different ways. If I will die there, I'm pretty sure I died there before that way. So let's see how it will go. Alright, I'm gonna use pause extend a lot. Do you want to explain it?
Absolutely. So there are actually, you're gonna see several cases of pause hovers for Shadow in this stage, but they're a little bit different from your traditional pause hovers for mechs. Pause hovers for mechs, as I mentioned, just let you gain more height and distance by netting two
A.
inputs very close together. Pause hovers for Sonic and Shadow actually allow, if you can unpause the game by pressing the A button on the resume option, and when you do that, it's for some reason inputs yet another jump input without spending a homing attack or anything, and it proceeds to make you fall a little slower, which lets you go a lot farther than intended, which you've seen Shadow here just skip a long set of like long platforms and everything like that just from a jump. And Tommy would pause in the middle of that, unpause with the A button, and go from there.
Alright. I did very spooky jump at the beginning, and I'm kinda happy that it worked, because if you die there you simply lose 30 seconds. But it was really well. Let's see if I can make mini skip work. It looks good. It also works in a really weird way, but once you get used to it, it's consistent. There's a kill plane below me, but I was way too high, so I successfully passed it.
Oh, also, I'm seeing in chat, if I said Tails' AI in the second fight is a lot more aggressive, I meant to say it was a lot less aggressive. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Definitely, Tails 1 is a lot more aggressive. It's even more dangerous, I would say, if you
Yeah.
know how to dodge the huge laser on Tails 2. Because this is the only one dangerous attack on Tails 2. Let's see if I can make very last skip to work.
Shoutouts to the gravity drums in this stage being absolutely awful.
Alright. We got damage, but we're alive. Oh my god. Why is this a gold split on my side? It was bad.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, head rings. We're good.
Okay, I saw you hit that meteor and I didn't quite notice. But this is an amazing run so far. That was, aside from missing that last skip I know you really wanted to showcase, that was still very good.
Alright, so time is gonna be as soon as I will hit Sonic for 5th time, and I'm gonna count these hits. It's pretty much the same as Shadow 2 fight. Alright, second hit, third, fourth. Let's go. Time, I guess. I called it right, but not I called it wrong, but I was
37, 35.
Yeah, it's 37, 34 on my side, on like very high.
Yeah, I saw
and
37-34.
I'm really happy about this run, honestly. To be honest, if you wanted to compare against PB, like this run with PB, my PB is 38 or 37 or 8. So considering how bad RNG was on Dry Lagoon and Security Hall, I'm really happy about this run.
Yeah, that could have been a PB had RNG been a little bit nicer in Security Hall and Dry Lagoon, but that was an excellent Dark Story run. And it was deathless too, if I'm not mistaken.
Looks like that. I'm surprised actually about it. I was so close to die on White Jungle and Skyrail. And Final Chase, well, it's a normal thing, I guess, but
People want to know what IGT is.
my
Yeah, what
IG
was your IGT?
my IGT is 27 minutes, 31 seconds, and 76 centiseconds.
Excellent. Like that was a very good run, Tommy. Congrats, dude.
Thank you. Draco, I disagree. Current world record is bad. There is 26 seconds Knuckles fight. That's no bueno. He need to beat it soon. Oh wow, that was a run. That was a lot
was a
better
run.
than Hero Story, which I did before, but to be honest, I enjoy playing Darkstar a lot more.
Yeah, if anyone's looking to get into this game, Dark Story is definitely a very fun category, despite what the non-believers like to say, and it's actually both Hero and Dark are respectable categories. I just wish that there was more people playing Dark.
Yeah, it's
The best category.
New Game
80%.
Plus Dark is actually the best category, I'll argue.
but there is Lazy Sand Ocean. That's not fun not to die there. Alright, looks like we're about to change to Acer Tyran by the inputs. You already could hear him. He was my co-commentator Knuckles Tyran run. He's not just great commentator, he's also a great runner. And I wanna wish him best luck in his run.
Yeah, best of luck to inputs on the ASRT run. Is it a race like it was supposed to be on schedule?
No.
Okay. Well, regardless, best of luck. Thanks for everyone who watched this run. Tommy, again, congrats on the run, man.
Thank you, and thanks for being there, for helping with commentary. That helped.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Alright.